So we're going to start lying down. So if you want to come onto your back, you could pop your bolster behind your knees. You could have a blanket as your little support for your head, or if you feel chilly, you can always pop it over your body. You've got an eye pillow if you want to pop that over the forehead or the eyes. Got everything. So take your time, just get nice and comfy. And if we've not met before, I'm Karine, and this is Yin. So you don't need to know anything about Yin Yoga. I'll explain a little bit about practice as we go along. So in essence, it is a very slow, patient, mindful practice. So we find shapes. Some of them are similar to Hatha Yoga shapes, that might be called a different name. We find our shapes and then we tend to hold them for minutes at a time. So we might start with 1 minute, 2 minutes, just to kind of work our way into the practice, and then up it to 3 or maybe 4 minutes. But for now, I'm just going to arrive. So settling yourself into the space. Just arriving into your body. Noticing the breath. And you might become aware now or throughout the practice of any sounds outside of the space. Just allow yourself to be as unattached from them as you can. So that is just other people out in the world living their lives. Sounds in the space, music, sound of my voice, sound of your fellow yogi breathing or having a little shuffle. And just reminding yourself that there is nowhere else that you need to be. There's nothing to achieve through the practice. For now, just allow your body to feel supported by the earth, by your props. Maybe you've already closed the eyes, or you gently start to close down the eyes, turning awareness inwards. And just begin to pay attention to your breath. Not changing it, just simply noticing your breath. Just feeling the breath move in the body and back out. Moving in and back out. Notice the weight of your body as it rests on the earth. The places perhaps in your body where you can yield and just give yourself over to gravity. And we're still in winter. Definitely feels like it this evening. And the next few days we'll reach a point called Imbolc, which is the halfway point between winter and spring. So there's some steady kind of turning towards spring, but we're still very much in winter. And the energy of winter is this restful energy. It's downwards, it's inwards. Bring awareness to your lower body, legs, hips, pelvis, often parts of the body that we have a focus on in our yin practice. And just notice any sensations that greet you or exist in these lower parts of your body. There's no need to label them or fix them or change them, just notice. And with each exhale, there's just a subtle softening. And that is almost the way of yin. So using our out breath just to allow us to soften into a shape. And we allow time to do the quiet work. Let awareness drift to your lower back. Maybe you can even imagine the internal workings of the body, kidneys. So that is the energetic home of winter, if you will, kidneys and gallbladder in Chinese medicine. And perhaps you can imagine just a gentle warmth there. So just nourishing the internal workings of your body as much as we think about the outside working of the body. Soft belly and rib cage, just creating this space for expansive breath, prana, chi, whatever we want to call it or see it as. Notice the hands and the arms, almost heavy and relaxed, as if effort is dissolving from your body. And then finally up into the neck, the jaw, the face. And they're areas that often hold tension. As best you can, allow them to be soft. And you might like to have a word for your practice that you return to. You might have one that comes to mind, or something for yin could be stillness, surrender, sensation. We're just going to rest here and arrive for a few more moments. Just listening in. What does that mean? Maybe we're listening into the breath or the sensations and softening of the body, or just what's popping into the mind without that attachment. And just meet yourself exactly as you are throughout the whole of the practice. Perhaps take a nice deep breath in through the nose and slowly blow a sigh out of the mouth. And let's start to bring some awareness into the body. We'll have a wiggle of the toes. We might bring the knees in towards us, give the legs a little pat or squeeze the knees in towards us. You might have a little roll on the lower spine, either from side to side, or you could hold the knees and just kind of make a circular shape through the lower back. Then let's pop the feet down onto the ground. Kick the bolster in towards you just for now. So we'll have a soft twist to begin with. So our upper body is going to stay nice and close to the earth. You might just let the arms fall a little bit wider. Let's shift the bum over to the right of the mat and let your knees drop to the left. So you've got your bolster there. It gives you just this gentle twist. Let your head and gaze roll in whichever direction you feel is best for you. And we're just going to start with 1 minute here in our twist. So to be clear, you absolutely don't have to stay in any shape. Part of yin is the stillness. But if you do feel like you just need a little shuffle or a wiggle, then feel free to take that. We're more working on not fidgeting. If you need to come out of a shape completely, that is your choice. This is your practice. Already halfway there. Gently roll the gaze and the knees back to center. Plant the feet back to the earth. Take a deep breath in and out. And then in your own time, let's take that twist over to the other side. So a little shuffle and just letting the knees drop and the head roll to whichever side. We'll take a minute on this side. Slowly bring the body back to neutral and just pause there. Just tucking the chin a little bit into the chest. As you next exhale, we'll let the knees drift open and bring the soles of the feet together. So as long as it feels okay, we'll keep our bolster there, because again, that just offers us a little bit of support whilst we're starting to, first of all, move the body. So sometimes in Hatha, this is called Baddha Konasana. So this is our Baddha bound angle. But in yin, we would call it butterfly. And we're going to take 2 minutes here, if that feels okay. If after a minute, and I'll let you know when that is, you feel like there is a little bit more space in those inner lines of the legs, you could always bring the blade edges of your feet and pop them on top of the bolster. So I'll let you know when we're halfway there. And like everything, you could try it and you might think, actually, that's not really for me. And you just reverse that. If you feel that this is okay as it is, or maybe it's just that actually this is just really nice and this is just the level of kind of sensation that I'm after, I don't feel like I need anything else. Stay as you are. If you want to try, then you could just lift the feet and pop the blade edges on your bolster. If you feel like no, then you can always pop them back down onto the ground. Up to you. And we'll take a minute in that position. Just allowing the face to be soft, the shoulders, the arms and the hands. You might use your hands on the edges of the thighs just to push the thighs back together. You might draw the knees in towards you or feel like your legs want to stretch out, or maybe both. It's up to you. Or you might pop the feet down. So we'll just take a few moments, and this is where maybe that kind of listening comes in. The eyes are closed. We're just saying, I listen to the body. What would it like right now? And then we'll roll ourselves over to the right, nice and slowly. If you need to, you can always kick the bolster away and just come to rest on the side of the body. You might return just for a little moment to the breath, or maybe to those words of stillness, of surrender. Pushing the earth away, just nice and slowly, almost like you can't be bothered. Pushing yourself up. And we'll find a seated cross-leg position. So if that doesn't work too well, you could sit on the edge of your blanket. So that will just lower your hips a little bit and your knees. If you just still think that doesn't work at all, then come back to butterfly, that's fine. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, just lift the heart. And as we breathe out, keep the bum to the earth. Just start to fold the body forwards. So we're not straining to get there. Remember, we've got time. If the head feels okay, just being heavy, that's good. We can get a stretch into the neck. If actually you feel like I want something to rest my head on, take your bolster, bit of a kind of diagonal for the bolster, and just drop your forehead onto your bolster. And as we soften upper body, that will of course have an impact on lower body and the opening out of the hips and the inner legs. So we can always pop our blocks just behind the thighs. So there's almost a stopping point there for them to rest on. So you feel into what would be best for you. And we're going to take 2 minutes here. And the breath is a really good focus point if that works for you, especially in yin. Just might be reminding yourself you're breathing in, you're breathing out. If the exhales are extended, that's maybe an opportunity to just soften into the fold. Halfway there. Just being patient with wherever you are. Last few moments here. So nice and slowly, maybe bringing the head up last if that feels okay. Just start to unravel from your folds. You might have a couple of rolls of the shoulders. Oh, mine are crunchy today. And then we're going to take the fingertips, bring them behind us with fingertips pointed away, and we'll uncross the legs. Just let the legs come forward. A little squeeze of the shoulder blades together so we can lift the heart. You might have a wiggle of your toes. So it is important in winter with the energy being very down and in, and that's where our body language lies as well in the cold, that we make space, literally, in the body. Let's tuck the chin to the chest, walk the hands back in towards us, and just take your time. We're going to sweep the feet to one side, knees to the other, and come onto our hands and knees. So a blanket is always the nice one for the knees. And find your tabletop. So hands as wide as feels good for you, knees as wide as feels good for you. And let's just have a little wiggle of the hips from side to side. So nothing particular, just some kind of natural fluid movement, getting the energy going in the hips. And then we'll take it into a few rounds of cat-cow. So as we breathe in, the belly button drops to the earth, the heart opens, the chin lifts. And as we breathe out, spine rounds to the sky, chin comes into the chest. So that's one round. Take two more like that. If we've got a blanket under the knees, we might just need to slide it back a little bit because we're going to walk our knees back so that we can extend into our arms. So knees and hips stay roughly in line as we drop the elbows to the earth. So we start to feel the belly button coming down towards the ground, the bum to the sky. We could stay here, soften the head, or you could slide the arms forwards and then feel the chest and the heart starts to come to the earth while the bum is high. And we come into melting heart. So another option is that we could have our bolster just kind of resting the chin and the chest on it. We could cross the arms, catch hold of opposite arms, So there is quite a lot of pressure coming through the armpits. So just be aware of that. Take your time, figure it out. And we're going to take 3 minutes here. So once you feel that you have found your position, just take in a nice deep breath in, maybe a slightly longer breath out. And the parts that you can soften, allow them to soften. So there will, of course, be that little bit of muscle interaction. There has to be. Whereas our kind of hatha-based practices are more about strength, muscle, which is really, really great. We need that. This is more about length, flexibility. So really, really good combination. We're halfway there. It's more than okay if you need to lift up and just pop back into tabletop for a moment, have a wiggle, and then you might commit to coming back into the shape. And this is a really nice one for the respiratory system as well. So we're kind of creating a bit of space in the front of the body. It's linked to the heart. The lines of the heart run through the arms. Got less than 1 minute. Last few moments. So nice and slowly, we're going to walk ourselves back into tabletop. We might need to push the earth away and just rise up to do that. And from there, you might feel like you want to have a little wiggle. You might feel like you want to just pop yourself almost back into a child's pose for a moment or two, or something else. It's completely up to you. When you're ready, we'll step our right foot forwards. And you might want to blanket your left knee. So step it forwards and out to the right edge of your mat. So we've got lots of space inside that leg. Your back knee might be over your hip. That is fine. But as you kind of come up, it might feel like that's quite strong. So you could always just slide your knee back ever so slightly. So one way we could practice this is hands to the earth or hands to blocks. Another way is that we could lift up, bring some weight into that front foot, and just take the gaze forwards. So you decide, we're going to take a minute and a half in whichever shape we decide first of all, and then go for a minute and a half somewhere else if we choose. So find what feels best for you. If you feel steady, why not close the eyes? Just checking that we're not clenching the teeth, so the jaw is soft, the brow is unfurrowed. And just listening to any sensations, any pointers that we might be getting from the body here. And that may help us to decide whether where we are feels like where we should stay to complete our 3 minutes, or whether we want to try another shape. Remember, we can try it. If we don't feel like it's for us, that's fine. So if we're going to try another shape, we'll breathe in and just find a little bit of space. And then as we breathe out, we're not forcing, but we're just letting ourselves come down inside this right leg. We can always turn the toes if they naturally come out to the right side a little bit. The head could be nice and heavy. And again, time will help with this. So we don't need to grapple to get to the earth. We've got a minute and a half. Just being soft and still will either keep us near to where we are or will allow us to drop a little bit more towards the earth. And if we need to draw back, we just make that decision. You know what? I'm going to lift up. I'm going to draw back to where I was before because that was enough. One more minute. Try and maintain just a steady awareness within the practice, with your breath, your body. Nearly there. So if we are lower down, or even if we're slightly higher up, we just come to more of a middle ground. Pop the blocks onto their lowest level. They're most sturdy there. And we'll take this right foot back, extend it back behind us, and just gently rock forwards and backwards into it. Let's pop that right knee down. We're going to repeat it on the other side. So step that left foot forwards. Nice and wide. Maybe we keep the hands down. Maybe we lift onto the blocks. They've got 3 levels, so play with that. Or you might feel like you want to lift, adjust that back knee if you need to. And we'll take our minute and a half. So it could be a completely different story on one side of the body. That might be from physical injury, from some kind of trauma. Often we carry things on one side of the body, as in physically as well as mentally. That can impact us. Nice steady inhales through the nose. And you might be exhaling out of the nose, or almost just blowing it out of the mouth. In pregnancy yoga, there's something really beautiful called golden thread breath. And you just imagine that you're exhaling this long golden thread of breath. It helps you to relax. Some people. I'm just starting to check in with how it feels on this side as we come shortly to a different option, if we want to take a different option. If we've got hands on the earth or blocks, we could, of course, lift the body up slightly. We might take a breath in, and as we breathe out, really nuzzle down inside that left leg. Adjust the toes and the hip as your body allows. So if naturally it feels like there can be a turn out, then take that turn out. If not, we don't force it. There's no point. We're going to need our legs and hips for longer, I feel. And a minute and a half here, but you can always reverse to a different version of the shape if you feel that's more suitable. One more minute. Doing really well. Let's slowly begin to lift the gaze, turn those toes back in. We'll come onto the flat blocks as we step that left foot back and just come onto the ball of the foot. Have a little motion forwards and backwards. And let's keep our knees on our blanket. For most of us, that'll be more comfortable. And we're going to turn our feet out. Take a block or two. You'll have to explore that for yourself. And come and sit down inside our calves. So we're not sitting on our feet. The tops of the feet are on the earth. The knees are coming together. So if it feels very tight just with one block, then we'll take two. And so we're in our hero pose. If you feel like you're pushing the hips and flaring forwards, just draw the belly button in a little bit, lengthen the spine. I'm just going to close the eyes and take 1 minute here. So we've done quite a lot of external rotating of our hips and inner leg line. So we're just turning that inwards. If it's very intense, that is the nature of the shape. If it's painful, we don't want that. So we might choose to tip forwards and just come into a seated position with bum to heels. The last couple of moments here. Nice and slowly, we'll tip ourselves forwards. You might take the knees out a little bit wider, and then feet to one side, knees to the other as we come onto our bum or into butterfly or legs extended, whatever is comfy. Nice tall spine. Next inhale, we'll take the chin up towards the sky, soft shoulders, loose jaw. Exhale, we'll drop the chin to the chest. That's one round. Just take two more like that with your breath. And then you might choose to just gently drop the ear to the shoulder each side, or drop the chin to the chest and gently roll the head back. Just nice and loose into the head, the neck, the face. And we're going to make our way down onto the ground. So have a little sip of your drink if you need it. Pop any layers on if you need that. And just roll yourself down onto the back of the body. Take your bolster with you, pop it behind the knees. Have your blanket and your eye pillow handy if you might want that. So take your time. And the last little thing that we are going to do is come back to our spinal twist just briefly, and then we'll take it into our relaxation. So just popping the knees onto the earth. Take the bum over to the left and drop the knees to the right. Just settling the upper body to the earth. Let the gaze roll to wherever it feels comfortable. And you might take the opportunity just to notice once more the sounds outside, the sounds inside, and really stay close to your practice in these final kind of 10-15 minutes, right until that point when you leave the studio. So we're still very much in our practice. Let's roll the knees and the gaze back to center. Pop the feet down and just shuffle and shimmy yourself over to the other side. Let's roll back to center. And And settle yourself into what is the most comfortable position for just a little short part of a much bigger practice called Yoga Nidra. So the part that we use now is the body scan. And this is guiding your awareness, me helping you to guide your awareness around your body as it settles into rest. So there is nothing that you need to do. Just allow yourself as best you can to give over to gravity, give over to rest, and just listen to the sound of my voice. Begin just by noticing the sound of the chime. And become aware of the head, and the face, the features of the face, the eyebrows, the eyes, the tip of the nose, the lips, cheeks, ears, chin, jawline. Just softening into the features of the face. Becoming aware of the throat space, the right and left collarbone, the right and left shoulders, and down both upper arms into the elbows, the lower arms, the wrists, and the right and left hands as they gently rest. Become aware of the back of the neck and the upper spine. As you exhale, travel down the spine, softening as it goes. The right glute and the left glute, both of the thighs, traveling down into the knees, the lower legs, the ankles, tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, the toes. Come back to the throat space, traveling down past the heart, the right and left rib cage, towards the belly button and the lower abdomen, and find your breath there. As you inhale, that sense of expansion in the belly, and as you exhale, a softening of belly, of body. Become aware of the head and the face, the arms and the legs, the upper body and the lower body, the front of the body and the back of the body, the whole of your body, everything connected, the whole of your physical body. Now just allowing that time to rest, to soften for your practice to really land. Nothing else to do. Just bringing awareness back to your breath. You might take a deeper breath. And ever so slowly bringing some awareness back to your body. Fingers, toes, face, as you just start to have a wiggle or a roll around or a stretch. And then try and stay nice and close to the earth as you just lull yourself over to right or left and just come and snuggle on the side of the body for a little moment. You might keep the eyes closed or just have a really soft gaze as you push the earth away and come up to find a comfortable seat for you right now, whatever that might be. And we'll start to rub our palms together to generate a little bit of heat and energy. And you might take them to the face, to the heart. There might be a particular part of your body that feels like it just needs that little bit of warmth. So when you are ready, you open out the hands and just gently place the palms on the body. Then you could place the hands back onto the heart or press the palms together in Namaskar. And we just close our practice with a single chant of Om. So you might chant externally, internally, you might hum, you might just listen, whatever you feel. We'll take a breath in a moment, and as we breathe out, we Om. Nice deep breath. Om.